In DC, for DC. DC Radio, 96.3 HD4 and DCRadio.gov.
Greetings, my friends. Welcome to the Cannabis Conversations Podcast, which is made possible by Mayor Muriel Bowser, Director of the Office of Cable Television, Film, Music, and Entertainment, Angie Gates, and the Director of Radio, Max Myrick, and his awesome staff. On this show, we discuss any and everything cannabis, and with the best and locally and nationally in the industry. And our Cannabis Conversations podcast is heard daily, Monday through Friday, on 96.3 HD4 and DCRadio.gov and on SoundCloud. Thank you for being with us today. I opened Anacostia Organics in February, but I had my ribbon cutting in January on my birthday.
Yes.
To make it very memorable, right? And then the mayor held a press conference in May at Anacostia Organics to talk about this Safe Cannabis Act that she is introducing for legislation to legalize recreational cannabis. Well, actually, we've legalized it, but for us to enact it. And there were two, I can't even say it. There were two absolutely gorgeous young ladies that were there for the press conference. And I was so pleased to have the opportunity to meet them afterwards. And we talked briefly, and our synergies were good. And they are guests on my show today. They are Shara, right?
Shara. Yes.
Shara Gibson and Tanya Duckett.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Shara
Yes.
and Tanya are founders of Canaventures, and they are also the co-owners of Local Meditations. These young ladies have a phenomenal history, a phenomenal background, and I'm going to let them give you a brief bio of who they are quickly rather than me giving it to you because I'm still learning.
Yes.
So welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having us.
So who's going to start?
I'll start.
Tanya.
All right, this is Tanya. All right. So thank you so much for having us. We so appreciate the time. So my background is real estate, actually. I've been in real estate since I was probably about 19, 20 years old.
My goodness.
I am a licensed real estate agent in D.C. So my background was sales and marketing.
And it's a good place to be a real estate agent,
It is.
particularly now.
It is. I never want to get rid of that license. Even
No, always have that license and keep it up to date.
License.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
I always have to have it no matter what. You kind of got to fall back on it. You never know when you need it. And I pretty much took everything that I learned in sales and marketing and real estate and I brought it to the cannabis industry. The cannabis industry reminds me a lot like real estate. It's very intricate. You got to start from the ground up. You got to really know the plant. You know, just like you got to know that property, the history of that property. You got to know the plant. You got to know the history of the plant, the botany of the plant, to really do good business in the industry. So I started from the ground up, just being around local growers, understanding the processing of the plant. Definitely gave me another outlook. So I met Shara G probably about a year into my venture being in the cannabis industry.
You're kidding.
Yeah, and I was
I
looking
would
for
think that you all have been a long time.
No.
A lot of people think we're sisters.
No, it was just, I was just in the cannabis space and I was looking for a partner. You know, I had, everyone wants to get onto the industry, but they don't understand you can't do it by yourself. And you have to have a good partner. You have to have good relationships. And finally, I found Shara because I was trying to do some things, but I don't know how to do everything, And when I found
it's
Shara,
so important to recognize that too.
Yeah, definitely, especially
that's
in
a
this
trait
space.
of a good leader.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So when I found Shara, I just hugged her tight, and 2 months later we had a store. We actually 2 months later we opened up a store. So she had Canaventures. I saw her in the scene, in the DC cannabis scene, just trying to help people, learn the industry. And I called her and I said, I want to open up a CBD store. You got to help me. We got to do this together. And 2 months later, we had the store. Yes. So it's been awesome.
So fantastic. I told you all they have a great story. So Cheryl, tell us about your background.
Yes. And thanks again for having us on. My background is really in small business development and entrepreneur training and education. So prior to entering the cannabis industry, I actually worked in DC government.
Did you really?
Yes.
Where?
The Department of Small and Local Business Development.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I was there for about 5 years.
When was that?
I was there from 2012 until 2017.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I love it.
I loved it. It really exposed me to just how to do business. It exposed me to entrepreneurs and really kind of fueled the fire for me to open my own business. Prior to being in DC government, I was at Howard, completing my MBA.
Can't get rid of these bisons.
Yeah.
They're
It
everywhere.
seems like they're always sitting at my table in this room.
Yes.
Right. We're here. Howard MBA. But that program really prepared me to do business and to really have a leadership and just a business mindset. So like Tanya said, we met about a year ago. She actually contacted me to help her with a business plan. And she's like, I want a CBD store. And I said, I want a CBD store too. And, our network is our net worth. And we found a storefront within about 6 weeks, maybe even less.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe even less.
That is amazing that you were able to find it that quickly.
Yes.
And it's in Georgetown, correct?
Correct.
That is, before I even met you all, I had heard about the store. And, but, that's, as we all know, the real estate is really high.
Yeah.
So, but by you being in real estate, Tanya, I'm sure that helped you find the location. And I don't know, because, I have a medical marijuana dispensary and you have a CBD store. Do you have to go through, was it hard finding a space? Because, in my side of the business, nobody wants to rent space to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Georgetown Main Street helped us out a bit with the space. So we definitely appreciated that. Yeah.
Yes.
We actually started out as a pop-up, or a winter pop-up for the winter. And we had some CBD locals in there, some of their products there, some, nationally recognized products as well, and along with other local DC brands as well. So we don't just have CBD products. We also have candles and T-shirts and things like that made by local DC residents.
By local.
Yes. Buy local.
I push to DC for everything.
Yes. Right.
Buy local.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So we also have products to do that as well. So when we found the space, we told them, they're pretty much the whole plan. And they were like, well, that's fine. They were okay with it. Thank goodness. But Georgetown Main Street definitely helped us and definitely cheered for us to be in the space and stay in the space. So we're grateful for that.
I mean, they were looking for, the Main Street was looking for an opportunity to revitalize the corridor. And luckily, we also have a property owner who is a champion for small businesses. And when she heard the plan that we were going to be featuring local DC businesses and smaller brands, she was all for it. And especially since when we started as a pop-up, we only had 3 CBD brands in the store, and it accounted for like 30% of our sales. Just those 3 brands.
Just those 3.
Yeah. So then we were like, okay, we're going full out CBD here. And so we've been there ever since. But, it's called Local Meditations because we highlight small and independently and locally owned companies. And we open up our space for small businesses to either enter retail for the first time.
Really?
Or exactly. A lot of those brands, it's their first time in retail. As long as their products are tested and labeled correctly, we'll carry their brand. So a lot of people, it's their first time in retail.
Yes.
Small hemp farms, it's their first time, sending product out of their respective states. So it's a great experience for businesses to use our space to grow their business.
That's so important to talk about the hemp farm and the hemp farm bill because, God knows that's what we're pushing for cannabis. I mean, that's, but, with now that it's legal, you can import, export, and you can do all of these various things with hemp and, get some really good CBD products out of there.
Yeah, we find that the products that come from the hemp farms are the best sellers, and they're just they just work better, and they're made with love. So of course, we really love selling those products.
How do you find your suppliers?
Oh, good question.
Yeah.
We use
Or do they find you?
They find us.
Sometimes they find us. Sometimes they find us, and they'll just drop product by and ask us to sample it. Other people are people in the DC local area, and we'll use them in Facebook. Sherry does a good job at Facebook, Instagram, social media. They'll see us on Instagram. They'll say, "Hey, I love what you guys are doing. I have this small farm in South Carolina. Can I send you some product?" And as long as it's state or North Carolina certified, they send it over to us. We're able to put it in the store, and just work like that. So it's a movement, I think.
It is, without a question. Without a question. I get calls all the time of people wanting to send me their products, but I can't accept them.
Right.
Which I think is totally unfair.
Yeah.
And particularly if they are state regulated and, that we can't have CBD products in our dispensaries unless we get them from one of the growers here.
That's that's right.
Unfortunately, yes, ma'am. That's how it is right now. But people do have options, to go, to either one of us. But I think CBD and THC marry each other so well. You know what I mean? You can't really have one without the other. So I think just offering people THC and CBD is an excellent choice for the patients.
It really is. It really is, and they do complement each other, and they do work together. For various symptoms and everything. But so, what does it mean to be a curated CBD boutique?
Yes.
So tell me about that. I saw that in the Bible. I got to ask, what is a curated?
Curated meetings, Tanya and I, we go out and we try to find the best boutique brands. We try to work with farms who are passionate about growing quality products and work with other service providers to make sure that our products are tested and labeled correctly. So we're just taking extra time to pick out brands that we know our customers will love, as opposed to carrying a mass-produced CBD brand. You can come to local meditations and everything is small batch. So people like that feeling of having more of a boutique homemade product that works well with whatever they're trying to use CBD for, as opposed to maybe buying a big brand that they can also see in a smoke shop or in another a gas station. We try to make the environment as comfortable as possible, and it's a real shopping experience. Like, we don't have anything behind glass. We don't sell any smoking accessories, and we have CBD lotion, we have CBD honey. We have it in so many different varieties that people are just excited that they can consume CBD in such different ways. So that's what it means. We're a curated boutique. We're more than a store, because when people come in, they have to talk to us. They can ask questions. We have CBD education class every Saturday.
Oh, do you?
Yes. Yeah. Because we spend at least 15 to 20 minutes with each customer explaining to them about CBD and how to use the product. So that's why we're curated.
Just education alone.
It's just education, and we're having to do pretty much the very same, no matter how educated they think that they know the products or know cannabis or know the various strains of cannabis and everything. When they come in, they need extra knowledge and education and training, and then what's going to treat one thing is not going to treat another.
Exactly. And that's what we've noticed. Isolate, distillate, distillate, excuse me. It works for different things. You know what I mean? Isolate works for some things, not more than others. So when people say, "Oh, I tried CBD and it didn't work," well, what was the quality of the CBD that you have?
First of all.
And
where did you get it?
Where did you get it? And that comes with education. And that's why we love working with small farms and small processors, because we notice that small batch is key to the quality of the CBD. Once you run CBD too many times, it heats up where the potency, all the quality, it's all gone. So that's why we kind of pride ourselves in working with small companies. You're not really going to see any mass-produced. Nothing against mass-produced CBD companies. However, we've just noticed that the quality is a little bit better when we work with small farmers and small processors.
Yeah. And you say you have CBD honey?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we have.
I'm very interested.
Yes. We'll bring you some. We will mail you some. You will love it. Just put a little bit in your coffee, and it'll just give you a nice mellow effect.
Wow. Yeah. So, even though you are doing CBD, and I'm doing the THC and CBD thing. We are still minorities in this industry.
Right.
Have you had any problems with that? Or, I mean, you guys can have banking too, right? You can operate as a normal business?
We've been having challenges with banking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Luckily, we found a bank that we've partnered with that's working with us, and they're in Georgetown, so shout out to that bank.
But the CBD is not federally illegal.
Even though it's not federally legal. I'm still limited in my marketing, pay-per-click ads, just like you are. Unfortunately, the way people are seeing, even with our website, we have to be careful with our server. I mean, we have to carry the same. I still can't do the same thing that you can't do as far as advertising. I can't do pay-per-clicks. I can't do Instagram clicks. Even I tried to do, the direct mailer. I tried to send that out, and someone says, nope, I can't do CBD mail. And I'm like, why? It's legal. So unfortunately, I still get a lot of no's when it comes to my Google advertising and things like that. Even though it is legal, they still, keep us in the same bracket. In our banking, it's the same way. Sharon and I, we used our own money. We didn't use any loans for this. We had to start with our own money, or our family, or our parents helping us, start this business.
Shout out to family.
Yeah, shout out to mama.
Always give a shout out to family. Thanks,
Mama.
With them, I don't know where we be. Right.
Yeah.
And support us in our ventures and, our entrepreneurial ideas.
Yeah. So I don't really, being a minority, because it's a new space, the only disadvantage I just see, being a minority is just not having access to funds, to capital, like other, the majority does, just in our family lineage, I would just, and that's just because of the color of our skin, we've all, suffered some type of way from the war on drugs, our family has been dismantled. So we don't have, I guess, a strong, family piece like that as far as economically helping us out. However, we do have the resources. Our family and friends have definitely been there to help us out. But as far as being a minority, I really don't see any challenges other than the banking aspect.
The banking
as far as being in the community. Shara, how do you feel?
My perspective, yes. Being a person of color in any type of industry presents challenges to access. But I will also say this, being in the cannabis industry where we're all kind of starting from the ground up, the minority groups, the minority business groups have been very welcoming to us, and they want to see us succeed. And I think there is, a pocket of, African Americans in this industry that are going back into the community and trying to pull up others and create opportunities.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So like people like yourself. There's other leaders here.
I was determined to do this.
Yeah.
And I want to give a shout out to Camille.
Yes,
Your publicist.
Yes,
I want to give a shout out to Camille because, she was emailing me and I said, well, Camille, blah, blah, blah is going on, blah, blah, blah. But, in 2 weeks, contact me, or in 3 weeks, contact me. And she followed up every time. Every time. She was right on point and just so thorough. So you're really blessed.
Yes, we are.
We really tell you.
Yes, we are. We're definitely blessed. And we're just using our resources.
So her name is Camille Davis.
Yes,
I want to put that
Davis,
out here.
with PR Montage.
With PR Montage. Montage PR. Montage PR. Yes. She's really great. She is truly, truly great. And, but it's just so... I'm just so happy to see you all in this industry. I can't begin to tell you. I started maybe 6 years ago, almost 7 years ago, on my quest to get in the industry, and there was no one. I mean, it was Wanda James, just Keith and Corey Barnett. I mean, you could just name the people of color in the industry on one hand. Shonda Macias. I mean, literally throughout the United States, you can name them on one hand. So I'm just, we have a long way to go, but I'm excited to see more of us in the industry now, but we're having to fight for this right to be in it, which is our right to open up a business as we choose, but to compete, against the big guys is really, really hard. And I know for my business, is small. I always say I'm going to be the Ben's chili bowl of cannabis.
Yes.
And I saw Miss Virginia Ali a couple of weeks ago, and she was saying, "How's it going?" and everything. I said, "Virginia, I'm going to be the Ben's chili bowl," and she just hugged me. Cannabis, but we know at some point the big companies are going to come along, and it's going to be really hard for us to sustain ourselves and keep our doors open because of the competition with them. So, we just have to get in here now, be resilient and just keep pushing and do bring others along and do give others the opportunity, to do that. So you all belong to any of the associations or organizations? Is there a CBD association or anything like that?
There is. Unfortunately, we are not in any associations as of right now. We definitely go to a lot of meetings.
You go to conferences.
We go to conferences. We advocate on the Hill. We've been following the Safe Banking Act, just kind of making our presence known and just speaking there. But we've been so fortunate to be around you and Shonda. I think we're just so blessed to have you guys, because nationally known, you guys are everywhere, and you guys are right here on our back door.
Shonda and I've been working hard. I'm trying to be like her. I mean, she's everywhere.
Yes, she's everywhere.
And then with Women Grow behind her, that propels her even more. I've been blessed and on a journey this year I never thought I'd be on. Once I opened the doors, I've been, really out there getting a lot of invitations to speak here, and they're all over the country and everything. So,
and we so appreciate that.
And I just, that's my opportunity to really advocate for us to have a fair share in this industry.
And I mean, we just started going on the Hill and going to DC Council this year. And, Tanya really inspired me to do these things. She's like, come on, girl, let's go to this person's office. And I'm like, no, we got to make an appointment.
Do it.
But once we started just jumping in, popping in, when we went to our first... I'm addicted to it. Yes. I go to these offices and I tell them what our viewpoints are as a business owner. And then when we went to our first committee hearing on the Hill, and we walked in and we saw Maxine Waters sitting in the chairwoman's seat. We were like, we made it.
We made it. That is still, she's a very dear friend, and just to see her journey. But she and Eleanor, our congresswoman, are the fiercest fighters on the Hill.
Right.
Absolutely.
They are just amaze me.
And one thing I do want to let people know, whether they're trying to get into the cannabis industry or just curious about it, if you have an issue, if you want to start a business, just go to your lawmakers. Don't be intimidated. Don't be scared.
That's so good.
Yeah, just do it. And if getting into the cannabis industry doesn't always mean you need a dispensary. You can you can take your professional skills and just translate it into cannabis.
So that is my message almost everywhere I go, because number one, to get in the cannabis industry, and you were in the cannabis, and the capital required, the time required, the regulations, the inspections, all of that is it takes its toll. And you have to be extremely patient. But my public relations skills and government relations skills, if I didn't get the license, I would really be doing that, and I am doing that still in the company. But whatever your professional skills are, it's needed in this industry.
Definitely. You don't need to learn anything new. Just take, because it's such an intricate industry. You're going to get lost in it.
How many people of color have you seen focusing on real estate in the cannabis industry? It doesn't exist.
I have. They're afraid.
Right.
They're afraid of getting in the industry, and I tell them your skills are needed. They need farms. They need land. Dispensary owners, they need places. To find. So. Hey,
cultivators need warehouses.
Exactly. So I haven't really seen any developers, and I can still get my broker's license. We are joint ventures.
Well, then maybe that's another idea here.
We can add that, to the team as well, because I didn't know what the requirements. Yes, ma'am.
So Canaventures, briefly before we go, Canaventures is like a consulting, public relations. What else?
Yeah, we do consulting, government relations, and training and education for entrepreneurs. So anyone that that's looking to start or grow, they can come to us, attend one of our workshops. We have bi-weekly workshops. We have a monthly networking event called Business Buds. And then we also go on Instagram Live.
You have to invite me.
Yes. Come on Instagram Live with us.
Yes.
And we're having our first webinar tomorrow, Wednesday at 7:30.
Really?
Yes. So we try to, the whole mission is just to make sure that there's access for minorities and people who do not traditionally have access to information.
I love it.
Yeah, because if we don't know it, we know other people who know it.
Right,
to share our
right.
resources. You know what I mean? So that's what it's for.
Yeah, we want to be the SBA of cannabis.
Okay, so I'll be the best chili bowler.
Yes.
You be the SBA of cannabis. That's really, really good. That's really, speaking of SBA, we hope that, things open up so that we can get SBA loans.
Exactly.
That would be nice.
I think one of the legislative proposals on the Hill
Yes.
does address that.
It does, definitely.
I don't know how we're going to address the inequity without making capital available.
Exactly.
The capital is critical.
Yeah.
And that's how, we get the raw deal sometimes, getting the capital from people that take control of your, end up taking control of your company.
Exactly
So,
right.
And people always ask, how do I invest in this industry? And I tell people, invest in us.
Right.
Invest. Local organizations need some money.
Right,
Cannabis
exactly.
Ventures need some money.
Right.
As we grow, as we attempt to get to the next level, we need capital, we need help.
Exactly.
So I tell people all the time, start with the ground up. Start with the people that you already have in DC. To move forward. So
would the recreational bill help you all at all? The passing of recreational, the allowing, if once we get the Senate on our side, the House is okay, to allow us to institute recreational cannabis. Is that going to hurt or help?
I think it will only help.
It's going to help me.
It's going to help.
Yeah.
There are a plethora of entrepreneurs here who are mistakenly operating in the gray market.
Yes.
And they legitimately want to have businesses and they see cannabis as a way of doing so. And those entrepreneurs need support just like any other entrepreneurs in another industry. And it will open them up to having legal businesses. It's a public safety issue. It's just an issue of people not having access. Health issue. So it's only going to be a better situation for us here in DC
if we
once we pass laws.
Definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're positioning yourself right now to be in the lineup, I would think, for a license once it opens up. And so how do people contact each of you?
Awesome. Instagram, social media, Facebook. We are at Local Meditations, or at Local Meditations on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. They can DM us. Our store is located at 1631 Wisconsin Avenue, 2007. We're located
and that's between what and what?
We are between Reservoir Road and Q Street.
Oh, Q Street. Okay. I do a lot of shopping in there.
Yes.
Come up the hill.
Yeah. So please come by. We're open pretty much every day except Mondays. And we're open from 12 to 7. And then on Sundays, we're open from 12 to 5.
Yes. And for anyone that's looking for business resources, they can contact Cannabis Ventures on Instagram or on Facebook. And like I said, we do
you
free
want to spell
trainings.
It for them?
Yes, ma'am. It's CANIVENTURES, Cannabis Ventures, Instagram and Facebook for free business training.
I love it. Well, I want to thank you all again. God is so good because we were having a little issue this morning here and everything, but we are here and we had a great comment, and I would love to have you all back and get your updates and all of that. And I'm looking forward to seeing everyone at Anacostia Organics. You have an open door policy.
Thank you.
And the first medical marijuana dispensary to open east of the river.
Yes, huge achievement.
We now serve all medical marijuana card holders from all the states in the United States and Puerto Rico. So follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter also. And our website is anacostiaorganics.com. And my listening audience can contact me at hello@anacostiaorganics.com.
Hello
at anacostiaorganics.com. You're the best. Thank you so much
for having us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
In DC, for DC. DC Radio, 96.3 HD4 and DCRadio.gov.